Okay. Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our March 9th, 2026 Commissioners Meeting. Please rise and I'll lead us in an invocation and pledge. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for allowing us to come together today to do the work that the people have sent us here to do. Please be with us as we make decisions that they are good for the county and they please you. Please be with everyone around the world that is suffering. Please be with all the people that work so hard to keep us safe. And please be with all those that are locally here getting ready to travel for spring break. Be with them and that they have a nice time and they're safe the whole way there and back. In your name we pray. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Right. All right. Nick's here. We can get started. Okay. First on the agendas, we have the approval of minutes.
I move to approve those minutes. I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, those opposed, motion passes. Next up, we have the approval of claims.
I'll move to approve those claims. And I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes. New permits report for the week of March 2nd. We had 25 new permits. Fee amount collected of $4,782. Value amount estimated at $1,812,770. That report is available for anyone who would like to take a look at it in the code enforcement office. Danny Hollander. Good day to you, sir.
Morning.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good. What do you have for us today, Danny?
The crew report, we were patching potholes and working on signs, and then we brought in some cold mix to put in our patching machine, but then the water came, and so we spent the rest of the week just
Closing roads.
lines and moving around and clearing debris out of culverts and plowing corn stalks off the roads after the water went down, and all the stuff that we deal with flooding, so.
It was a humdinger and it wasn't a record by any means, but it was a.
And I mean, as far as floods go, I mean, it wasn't all at once. It kind of built up and this water built up and goes back down, but just left a lot of stuff in this wake. And
Left a lot of stuff in its wake, and we're looking tomorrow, is it tonight or tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night, potential of a couple more inches of rain, so.
yeah, it's gone down a lot, and a couple more inches of river and be able to take it.
Wonderful. Anything else on the crew report?
No, that's the crew report. That's all I got on that.
Looks like you got a proposal.
Yeah, we got a proposal for a berm roller and sidewinder. We used our old chip box, and it pretty much, we got a full life out of it, so we have to.
But I remember kind of ended that life cycle last summer, didn't we?
Right. And this is, we only got one quote because it's the vendor for this area to represent this product, so we can't get it from anywhere else. And anybody else that has a similar product has its own motor. This one doesn't have a motor. It uses the power off our
This is
machine.
based for our equipment.
So the other one will be significantly higher in cost, so.
It's Southeastern Equipment Company out of Indianapolis. You had a sidewinder at $47,700, berm roller at $51,680 for a total amount of $99,380.
I'd make a motion, we go ahead and award and enter into this proposal
with Southeastern Equipment Company out of Indy.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye, those opposed, motion passes. And next up, you broke some blade arms in the snow.
Yeah, yeah, this was they just had to get the parts, fix it.
Or wore them
Get-
out.
Actually, hit a pretty big, part of the bridge. It hit the end of the
great.
bridge and, luckily the bridge didn't give, but the plow, plow took a pretty big hit, so.
All right, we need, these are for snow blade arms that were damaged during the snow removal. Redding Truck out of Indianapolis is the vendor for the Hinkle plows, 2 POP lower arms, total $6,062.
I'll
You
move
already-
to ratify that expense.
Yes, it's already been expense, so this is a ratification.
Yeah, we needed it right away to get the plows back on the road,
Yeah.
so.
We have a motion.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, motion passes. Danny, thank you. Anything else for us? Anybody got any questions for Danny?
Well, Dwight just called me on the way here. There's some damage down on 800 South we're gonna have to fix, and the water needs to go
Azalea?
down.
Azalea area?
Yeah, the water whirled and
Undermine
rode
the
underneath the road, so, the water needs to go down a little bit, and then we're gonna have to get some flowable fill or something to get underneath the road. So it's gonna remain closed for a little bit longer.
Has to dry out considerably or just needs to go down a
But
little
it
bit?
needs to go down enough so we can do some work. It's still pretty high down there. It's, or that road's lower down there, and so it's still.
Is that the only one you know about like that?
Then there's Harrison Lake where that was the spillway at the Castellia has kind of washed out their spillway. And so.
That's at the high, that's back at the small dam out back by Castellia.
Yeah. And
It's
it's,
the dam for that little pond.
right, it's eroded underneath the road and,
Is
it's,
it around the pipe though?
yeah, it's
The
out.
spillway pipe? Is it concrete or metal? I meant to go out and look at it and I didn't get there.
So it's metal down at the bottom, or plastic down at the bottom. I don't know. It's kind of stone right there on the dam. But it's got underneath it and just compromised the road and the dam and everything. So,
Water goes where it wants to go.
yeah, it takes a lot of dirt with it when it goes.
Takes a lot of dirt with it. All right. All right, thank you, Danny.
Mhm.
Appreciate it. Next up, we have our clerk, Sherry Lentz, consideration of an agreement with Gather Columbus for the clerk's office. Good morning.
Good morning.
Seems like we were just talking about this the other day. Tell us what's going on, Sherry.
Well, I just come before you this morning to ask you to consider the contract for Gather Columbus to be our early voting site, starting on April the 6th through Election Day. And so.
So this is the location that will be open business days
Mhm.
starting
8 to 5.
April 8th.
April 6th.
April 6th is the first day for early
Yes.
voting.
Mhm. So we'll have, April 7th. We acquired the building on April 6th
Okay.
for setup, but April 7th is the
April
first
7th
day.
is the first day
Yes,
for voting.
8 to 5, Monday through Friday, and then on the 2 Saturdays prior, 8 to 3.
So this will be the only location
It is.
for early voting,
Mhm.
except the 2 Saturdays prior to the election. And we'll be
And the
here
Governmental, yes,
and Gather,
Yes. Mhm.
those two
Gather.
locations.
Right, on those 2 Saturdays, we'll have Gather Columbus available 8 to 3, and also here in the council chambers, 8 to 3.
Okay, all right. And this Gather Columbus is, if everybody doesn't know, it's the former Texas Roadhouse, the front
Yes.
portion.
On 25th Street. Mhm.
Okay.
What about the fall, Sherry?
We have talked to them about that, but this contract is specifically for the spring. But we have also talked to them about securing dates for the fall.
It's very centrally located. It's good parking, off-street parking,
It's all on one
Uh,
level. It's really gonna be an
very
excellent location.
accessible. So,
Mhm.
okay.
I'll make a motion to approve this agreement with Gather Columbus.
Second, Tony.
We have a motion and a second. It's for $6,000 for that, what, 2 months or one month, I guess,
Right.
essentially 1 month.
Right, it's 28 days of early voting and then the election day.
Election day. All right,
Mhm.
anybody have any questions? All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye, those opposed, motion passes.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Gary, thank you for
Appreciate
doing
it.
that. There was a day when I remember doing that myself, calling
Yes.
around and going
Yes.
to look at sites. So thank you for that
Oh,
work.
no problem. Thank you.
Yeah, the commissioners used to have to get to polling
Yeah,
places, didn't
It
they?
was a lot of work.
Next up, we have Shannon Carter. Is that how you say that?
Yes.
Carter, consideration of a VOCA grant application for the prosecutor's office. Good morning,
Her
Shannon.
name used to be Carter,
But now
out of the
she's,
south, that eventually
Carter.
became
Carter.
Carter.
Good
well,
morning.
Shannon, why don't you tell us why you're here today?
So I come to request permission to submit what will be our 40th year of asking for VOCA funding for the prosecutor's office. And the VOCA is for Victims of Crime Act. We help support, we have 2 funded positions, one totally funded by the grant, and then one that is 90% funded by the grant and 10% funded by county. We are the ones that help with anyone that's listed as a victim of crime, anywhere from a stolen Polar Pop to, unfortunately, homicide.
And what do you do with these funds for those people?
So currently it's for the salary, the benefits of the 2 positions for the victim witness coordinators.
Gotcha.
We do have some travel. We've asked for some equipment for laptops, those type things, some postage, supplies and things like that.
The grant is to help the prosecutor's office provide services to assist victims of crime to understand and participate in the criminal justice system. It's a reimbursable grant. County spends and is reimbursed. It's from October of this year to the end of September of 28. The amount requested is $651,855.60. The county match is $130,345.07, and that is paid out of the prosecutor's general funds.
I'd make a motion, we go ahead and enter into this grant request.
I'll second. Can I ask a question before we vote?
Absolutely.
Doesn't matter on the vote, but Shannon, the dollars, the revenue, they're tax dollars, not user fees or court cost fees.
Correct.
They're tax dollars,
Yes.
federal government and the state.
It's federal funds that trickles down to us.
Yeah, all right. Is there any other discussion? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye, those opposed, motion passes. Shannon, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for explaining it.
Thanks.
And this, is it every 2 years you do this?
Yes, ours is a 2-year grant.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next up, we have John Martosha and Jay Frederick.
Good morning, John.
How are you guys?
Good morning,
This is
Jay.
a
Good morning.
combination of prosecutor's office and sheriff's department. This is the discussion of Bartholomew County ICAC Task Force acquiring an EDS K-9.
Yeah, so this is all about protecting our children.
And this is the discussion. This is not an action item today.
Right. This protect our children. It's can be used with our ICAC task force that we have. We have 2 officers that currently work with them. And I'll let Jay explain exactly what it is.
So as you gentlemen know, the Bartholomew County ICAC Task Force is the Sheriff's Department, the Columbus Police Department, and the Prosecutor's Office. And we're an affiliate of the state ICAC Task Force, doing good work to protect children by investigating and prosecuting internet facilitated crimes against children. That's what we do. So the task force over the last 9 months to a year has been examining adding a member to our group, a 4-legged member, and that would be an ESD K9. ESD stands for Electronic Storage Detection. So these specially trained dogs, they're not like other police canines. These are typical labs, and these dogs are specially trained to detect electronic storage devices like cell phones, tablets, jump drives, SD cards, that sort of thing. So if you think of a micro SD card like the one here that's about the size of a fingernail, that can hold up to a terabyte of information on it. And you can see where officers serving a search warrant might miss something that size. So the ESD canines have a success rate of over 80%, detecting storage devices like this where the officers have not located it on their initial search. So the Bartholomew County ICAC Task Force wants to add an ESD canine so that we can use that dog, not just in Bartholomew County, but in the region, since we're kind of a regional leader for ICAC, and not only to help us detect this kind of evidence for child exploitation and crimes against children, but these dogs can be used for any crime that we're investigating that involves digital forensic evidence like that. So what questions do you guys have about an ESD
Well,
canine?
Are these common? Because I honestly, I had never heard of this before this discussion.
They're not very well known yet, but if you're out and about and you see a regular police service dog, like a German Shepherd, they may have a harness on that says "Do not pet." These are the dogs that have a harness on that says "Please pet me," because they typically will train Labradors, sometimes Golden Retrievers for this work. But the reason, part of the reason that these dogs are used is because they're two of the friendliest breeds of dogs there are. And their other function is to comfort the children that we work with and sometimes help us do the forensic interview work that we need to do to build our case. So they're very helpful, not only with comforting child victims, but also to help the staff that works this, the team members that work these kind of cases, and also just for general awareness and outreach.
Jay, I'll ask a silly question, but it's a question in my head. What is it that the dog can sense? Is it a smell? Is it an electronic vibration, a metal smell?
That's a great question.
How does a dog find it?
So each of these devices, the little electronic devices, uses a certain kind of sort of a chemical that's kind of like a glue. Scott knows all about this. And so the dogs are specially trained in the place is actually in Indianapolis. It's called Jordan Detection Canines. And he's been training these dogs for a long time. Originally trained dogs to detect accelerants for fires, that sort of thing. But the chemical that's in these storage devices is not as strong a smell. So these dogs are very specially trained to do just that, just detect and alert on that chemical that is in all these little things, and none of us ever knew it.
Okay.
Jay, how many times would an animal like this, and I'm gonna regret asking this question, but would be useful?
That's a
Can't
loop.
wear their nose out, Tony.
Mhm.
Right, so like I said, our ICAC is kind of emerging as sort of a regional hub for the whole region. This dog, as I discussed with Sheriff Lane, who's agreed to assign a handler and take care of the dog, would be used in the entire region. So there are other ESD canines. For example, there's one in Bloomington and in Seymour, but these dogs go all over the southern Indiana anytime they're needed. Like I said, not just for child exploitation case, but if there's other criminal investigations where we need that dog's specialty training to find small electronic devices, that dog may go anywhere to do that. But again, its other usefulness is just in day-to-day presence to help us in dealing with these child victims as well.
I don't have any more questions.
Anyone else have any thoughts or questions on this? It's not a decision we're making today. This is just a conversation about the concept and possibly going down this road, learning more. It's an informational session.
Yes, and we're examining some potential funding sources, and we're in the process of looking at those and considering those. And this is the time just to make you all aware of what we've been discussing and where we're hoping to be.
Probably another silly question, but how do you select a handler? And then does he, I'm sure he goes to some special training with the
Yes.
dog
Yes, absolutely. So
or she?
our task force has discussed it for a while, and the potential handler is a member of the ICAC task force at the sheriff's department. And that handler has to be fully aware going into it of all the training that's involved, because you don't just take this dog off the shelf once in a while and expect it to find these devices. That dog has to be trained every single day, literally, in order to perform the way we need it to when we're looking for this evidence. So the handler and probably the handler's spouse have to be very dedicated to the program.
And not have a lot of electronics in their home.
Actually, these are dogs that are trained for a food-based reward. And
So am I, but don't mean to interrupt.
They literally, you practically literally don't feed them without them finding a device first to reinforce that training.
But they're
And
not
that-
for hire if you lose your cell phone.
Does that dog stay with the handler?
Absolutely.
So he takes him home and has to have a
Right.
means to care for the animal?
So the handler would go to the place in Indianapolis, Jordan Detection Canine, and that Todd Jordan that runs that sort of matches the dog and the handler. So he learns the handler a little bit. He already knows the dog because he's been training the dogs and finds good matches. It's a 2-week training course. And then the dog goes with the handler and starts working. And then there's an annual recertification that's 3 days.
Very interesting.
You
Well, I
know-
could have never been a handler.
It's, it boggles the mind the way that some people, will do anything to harm a child. And I wish we could take this dog and find that person and then give him to one of the other dogs. And, you know, just for 10 minutes. Because there's nothing that angers me more than anyone that would harm a child.
Well, the best thing we can do is investigate and prosecute those criminals, and at the same time, do some education and outreach for adults and children, and our task force is doing both.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for that. Anyone else have any questions? With that,
So they're kind of making us aware because with the dog comes some additional extra expenses. So we're aware of that. Thank you for doing that.
yeah,
And get the dog.
well, thanks for making us aware of this. I don't know that any of us knew about these types of dogs or training prior to this, so it's good discussion. And any other questions or
I do
issues
have
come
one
back
other
to us?
question.
Oh,
It
okay.
just interests me. Are they typically, does one sex dog make a better agent than another? Do they?
That is one question I did not ask
The
Todd.
females are usually better investigators.
Yeah, probably so. Yeah, I bet there are. I bet the answer is probably yes. Both can probably do it, but there's probably one that's better than the other for whatever reason.
Most of the ones I'm familiar with, in fact, I'm trying to think of a female ESD that I'm familiar with. I think all the ones that I know of in Indiana are males.
Are males, okay. All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
John. Thanks, Jay.
We'll look forward to hearing what's next. All right, next up, we're going to celebrate VIP. Madam Auditor, would you like to tell us a little bit about our next item?
Sure. After 18 and a half years from being in the auditor's office, in the accounting department, most recently as director of finance, Carolyn Massingill is going to retire. So I believe that you have something prepared for you.
Well, Carolyn, come on up.
She needs to sit in the hot seat.
Yeah, gotta sit in the hot seat. Have a
Just
seat.
have a seat, Carolyn.
You did it again.
All right, she gets to sit in the big seat. And Commissioner Linnep has something to share.
Yeah, and I'll just make a note. Carolyn runs a tight book. You, she makes sure claims match.
Yeah.
And other than that, I don't think I'm gonna say anything more about that process. So I've got a proclamation here of Bartholomew County and the state of Indiana. Whereas Carolyn Massengale has served the Bartholomew County Auditor's Office for 18 and a half years and is now entering a well-deserved retirement from her full-time position as Director of Finance. And whereas Carolyn Massengale has continued to serve the citizens of Bartholomew County beyond the call of duty through the Bartholomew County Auditor's Office, and whereas Carolyn Massengale continued undying and dedicated commitment to the citizens of this community, and whereas Carolyn Massengale has earned the highest respect from everyone whose life she has touched through her kindness and professional work ethic. Now therefore, we, the members of the Bartholomew County Commissioners, do hereby proclaim our profound gratitude and heartfelt appreciation to Carolyn Massengale for her exemplary service. We honor her dedication and the positive impact she has made in Bartholomew County. And the Bartholomew County Board of Commissioners do hereby proclaim today, March 9th, 2026, as Carolyn Massengale Day. And so there you go.
Sign it. She's got your own day.
I do.
Anything to share?
Um. You know, the word that struck me was respect from, because there's, in my job, I have ruffled feathers trying to save taxpayer dollars and abide by State Board of Accounts, which doesn't bode well sometimes. And I do recall one time I upset a previous sheriff. And I came to you, to the commissioners, and I believe it was you, Carl, that said, Carolyn's just doing her job. And that I will remember always, because, you know, rather than poo-pooing what I did, you understood that, you know, what I was really trying to do. And the wonderful woman who's taking my position is a lot like me. So you'll expect the same
Tenacious.
attitude and, you know, she's very professional. But she abides by the rules. She's a rule follower. So. I
Well,
think
you're a
it's wonderful.
gatekeeper of sorts.
Yes.
We have one in our office.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
And-
So,
The gatekeeper has a lot of responsibility and not everybody wants to abide by it. And so they do ruffle feathers. But we count on people to do that.
yeah.
Yeah.
But thank you so much. This is totally unexpected. And I appreciate all my years here and I'll never forget them.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Carl's going to give you your proclamation.
That's. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks.
All right. Next up, we have Dave Broden from M Street Fiber. Dave's here with an update on the county fiber project. Dave, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I was here I think, a couple months ago, provided an update. I'm gonna go back. We actually just passed the 1 year mark since our main contractor shut down, went out of business, which was a big surprise. And so one of the things was, what's gone on the whole year. I think one of the problems was that when they went out of business, they didn't provide any information on what had been partially completed. And so even in order to have someone look at taking over the project and picking up, we had to hire a company to come physically look at all of the plant that was in the ground that was partially done to come up with what's there, what's not there. And so that started in the middle of last year. It took several months because someone physically walked every road to see what was there and wasn't there. And then we went to look for bids. One thing I'll say about our current contract, our previous contractor, was we executed that agreement in 2022. It was a fixed price contract based on cost at that time. As we discussed in one of the previous meetings, this was entirely private investment. We've put about $15 million into the project so far for the parts that have been completed. As we started to receive bids, we did multiple bids from a variety of companies we felt were technically capable of doing the design and the build to standards. And one of the things that became quickly clear is that labor costs, material costs had risen substantially since the project was originally bid out. And I think the other piece is that as this project was being built, it became clear that we needed to do a larger percentage of the build underground. And the fixed bid price we had previously, that wouldn't matter because they would have done it for the fixed price. But as we have new contractors looking at that, they have to evaluate that differently. So as a result, when we got bids in, we have not yet been able to find a bid that's been able to meet the financial constraints of the project. It's not to say we won't keep looking. We are going to continue to keep looking. But, at this moment, that's why nothing has moved forward on the project from where we're at. The other piece of this that was important for us is we wanted to make sure that after our previous contractor shut down, everything was cleaned up and all the homeowners were taken care of. Normally in the contract, there would have been a warranty from the previous contractor. We've continued to execute that warranty ourselves. So we paid homeowners that had any problems, fixed any roads that need to be fixed, and took care of that ourselves, which that's all up to date at this point. So at this stage, a year in, I think this is clearly disappointing to us. I'm sure it's probably disappointing to any of the residents who have been anxiously waiting for solutions from us. And like I said, we're going to continue to keep looking. All the network that's done right now is going to continue to function. I mean, everybody has service, can have service. Anybody who lives in an area that's completed can get service. One of the things we're going to do this week is we have a mailing ready to go out. We're going to mail every resident in the county for those who have service to make sure they know their service is not going to change. If you live in an area that's completed, that you can still get service. And if you're in an area that's paused right now, to explain what's going on. We haven't had a lot of communication. We want to be really clear to everybody what the status is and where they can call for more information.
Dave, what I hear you saying is you're done building unless you find a needle in a haystack vendor that's willing to dig at your price.
I think that's true. I think the other option that we are investigating, have continued to investigate, is there are other funding opportunities for rural areas at the federal and state level that we're going to continue to monitor. And if something like that came up, that's something we could pursue as well to see if we could get going again.
Okay, so the plan currently is, and we're all extremely disappointed. The plan was to, by this time, have well over 85% of the county with fiber access. That was the whole point of the project. We committed $4 million ARPA funds to the project, to which we still have those $4 million ARPA funds, because in our contract, you guys had to reach 85% before you trigger that payment, and you did not reach that trigger point. What percentage have you reached in the county?
We're about 20% right now.
20%. You had to reach 85 to qualify for the grant from us. So it's clear that that's not going to happen.
Yeah, the deadline was by the end of this year, clearly not going to happen. So
Yeah.
that's,
Yeah. So what do we tell the people that we're counting on this? What do we tell the 80% of the county that we're counting on this company fulfilling its promise to those people?
I think the only thing I could say is it was an unexpected occurrence. We went in, hired a reputable vendor who has built for decades around the country, a large company. And, it was unexpected that they were going to.
But you required them to take out a bond, right? A performance bond.
We did.
Okay, so it wasn't totally unexpected.
Well, we always want to mitigate the risk, but.
Well, yeah,
I think.
but when you require them to take out a performance bond, you assume that risk is there. So I don't see how it can be totally unexpected.
With all the factors involved with the rising prices and some of the design changes, it turned out to be more than was available.
Mhm. And
Dave.
I'm very frustrated and my brain's not working correctly.
I'll give you a second to think.
Thank you.
Earlier, you had said that your company has made a $15 million investment and we are at 20%. Originally, wasn't the expected number was 30 million
Mhm.
from your company?
35.
And yet we're at 15, but we're only 20% there.
Right.
Costs rose that much?
Well, there's a couple in all of our agreements with builders, there's a mobilization fee
Mhm.
because that contractor, they still need to make payments ahead. We only pay when something's completed, but they're obviously building ahead of that. And so there's a mobilization payment to get them going, to get them started. And so that was paid out in advance.
Okay.
In addition to that, there are a certain amount of prepaid materials because they have to purchase materials in advance. So even if there are areas in the county that we haven't accepted and can't turn up customers, we paid for materials that are sitting in the ground. So that's why there's money spent ahead of the completion. And I think in addition to that, as I mentioned, we had to take on the burden of all of the cleanup and resolving issues over the last year, which are part of the investments made.
I can tell you this, that not all of that cleanup has been done. Eastern Bartholomew Water has been put in a tough situation because they've had to spend 150,000 fixing water breaks that your contractor did not fix. And now they can't get any assistance. And so they've had to eat that. And they're, that's really hard for a local co-op. So you had True Line take out a performance bond. Did you collect on that?
We did not get it all, no.
No? What percentage did you get?
That actually just completed last week, so I'm not sure. I can get back to you on that.
Substantial amount of money. I would assume at least $15 million.
Yeah, it was a decent amount of money.
Okay,
Yes.
so you put in 15, you've got 15 back. You guys are whole. What about the costs? What about the people that don't have the service now?
Well, they're more than whole if that's the situation. They're 15 million ahead.
Yeah. So,
The performance bond was on all of Indiana, not just on Bartholomew County.
okay, so.
So we had the same, all these expenses, repair, all the things I'm
So
talking
then it
about
was a lot more than
were
15.
for all of our markets. And so
You
we
built
had-
out the city of Columbus. You built out the city of Bloomington. You built out, I think Shelbyville maybe. And the rural people keep on getting the shaft. And Dave, I apologize. I know you don't own this company. You just represent the company and you're the one here, but you are the one here. What do we tell those people?
I think what I can say is, yeah, I think we're disappointed. It's unfortunate. We're gonna continue to look for options to move forward on this, but at the moment, we just don't have a solution right now.
Do you realize that M Street Fiber, under the name Hoosier Fiber and Meridian, was granted a tax abatement
Mhm.
countywide to put this in everywhere, and that you're currently operating under that? We have a county council member here today, Marcus Spear. I think this puts your tax abatement in jeopardy. I really do. I'm gonna call on the council, and I hope my co-commissioners will join me in calling on our council to look very, very closely at going forward with the tax abatement, if not canceling out outright. And we moved heaven and earth for this company because they made big promises. And we feel like the people of Bartholomew County are being let down.
I understand.
Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Broden?
Tony's right. I know I haven't had a lot of questions, but some of our council members have had a lot of questions about when's it coming? When's it coming? When's it coming? Of course, we don't have any control over that as a council, but that's been a big question because the expectation has been there, as Tony shared. And it is upsetting that we had that money available, and it's gonna run out, right?
Well, we're looking at other options.
Okay.
But
But now it puts us under a time
yeah,
squeeze in a big way.
it does.
Well,
It's
the
gotta be-
good thing, if we're looking for any silver lining at all, is the way that we structured the contract. We, other than inconvenience and opportunity loss of having service, we didn't put any money in because
No.
we structured the contract in such a way that the 4 million we were putting in came at the end. And if the performance doesn't match, we don't pay.
Right. No, it
But
doesn't.
that doesn't
It hasn't cost
cover
the
the-
taxpayers a dime.
the opportunity losses, so,
Yeah.
but we just have to move on.
I think, and Tony's expressed his disappointment. Tony took this project by the horns, so to speak, when he got elected. So I know it's doubly frustrating for him. I liken fiber and internet, all this kind of technology. And several of you've heard me say it before, but I liken it to when the electricity came to the country in the thirties and forties.
Rural electrification.
Yes, Rural Electrification Act. And Pia's grandfather,
Great-grandfather.
great-grandfather spearheaded that here in Bartholomew County. And I suppose if he could walk through that door today and sit there, he could probably relate a little bit to what maybe Mr. Broden has talked about. Maybe the only difference that was happening then was the country was coming out of a depression and needed work. And it did provide a lot of work, but I don't know how costs went. I'm assuming that when the country recovered from the depression, costs started to go up, just like they have in the last 5 years. So, and they didn't get the country electrified overnight. It is hard to tell the citizens that you meet, whether you meet them at a restaurant or a church. I've been asked the same questions, how soon's it getting here? When's it coming? But again, patience in the 21st century is not a very good virtue anymore. So people are just not near as patient and tolerable as maybe they used to be. But I just think it's a fact of life that it's going to get there, but it's going to take more time.
Carl,
that's-
one of the, if I can add to that, I had someone again over the weekend ask me, how come they can have it in Brown County and Jackson County and Jennings County and we can't get it done in Bartholomew County? And the difference is REMC.
REMC.
Those REMCs chose to get in the business and partner with companies, and they were the main providers, at least
Because
their
they-
infrastructure. But Bartholomew County REMC has chosen not to do that.
And we
And
understand
it's
that.
and we
partially,
understand that,
I'm
but
not taking that as a
it's
criticism.
partially because of market share in both county. I mean, in Brown County and Jackson County, RMC has a lot bigger presence
okay,
than they do in Bartholomew County.
okay. But that made the project simpler in those counties.
Yes, it did.
I have a property in Jennings County and we have fiber to the house.
Yeah.
Out in, pretty much out in the sticks, but if REMC were a partner in this, it would have been a different outcome. And we're still talking with them indirectly, just trying to figure out, we still have to use, even with this company's plan, they were using REMC's infrastructure.
Yeah, they've been,
So,
Bartholomew County RMC has been a great partner for
No, they
us.
really have. They've been
Yeah.
a wonderful, and we understand, we're not criticizing
yeah,
REMC.
there was no criticism in my comment.
Our
It's just the fact.
market, their market here is much different than their market in
Yeah.
Jackson County. But, one thing I am 100% sure of is every home in Bartholomew County at some point will have excellent internet connection. I wished it had been done a lot sooner. I wished it was as a result of this project. And who knows what and who's going to provide that. But we're not giving up. And, if we need to pivot to another provider / partner, we'll do that. I wish personally that we would have had better communication during this whole time. See what we could have done, what we could have helped with. But that didn't take place. And the whole thing's very disappointing, but the people in Bartholomew County will get good internet one way or the other. Dave, do you have anything else to add?
No, other than thank you for your time.
Thank you. I apologize for kind of opening up on you, but you're the face of the company as far as we know. Okay?
I mean, rural people have waited a long time. for
Yeah.
good
Anybody
internet.
here have any questions? Riley, do you have any thoughts?
Dave, what's your last name?
Brodin, BRODIN.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Dave, thank you very much.
Thank you, Dave.
Okay, that ends our published agenda. Under miscellaneous, we will have no meeting next Monday, March 16th due to spring break. Our next regularly scheduled meeting is Monday, March 23rd. Does anybody else have anything to add or to share with us today? No? All right. We are adjourned, everyone. If you're traveling